What is up, people of the universe? This is Bonjo here, bringing you another Pokemon Black and White Wi-Fi battle, and this is against my good friend Jay. And now he's not known as Pro Poke Player, but he is known as the guy who is not. So anyways, go check him out. He's not started uploading yet. This was a really fun roulette match and battle, awesome. I'll start saying that from now on. This was a roulette battle. And anyways, I'll just get straight with the battle. I lead off with the Hippopotas and he leads off the Quillfish. We both set up our hazards on the first turn, and then he goes for the Waterfall. I knew I could take one and get off an Earthquake, but he flinches me, which is really bad. And I predict another Waterfall and I go to my Ferrothorn, as he goes for another Waterfall that does nothing as I resist it, and Ferrothorn is a beast. And now he makes a good prediction and goes for the Taunt, predicting me to go for the Spikes or the Leech Seed or something on that line. So that's good play by him. And now I completely forgot about the Destiny Bond, and I went for the Gyro Ball, predicting his switch actually, but luckily for me it doesn't kill, and he's taken down thanks to the Sandstorm. So that was really lucky for me because my Ferrothorn was saved. And now he goes into his Tyranitar. I predict the Fire Blast and go into my Hippopotas as Death Fodder, but he goes for the Substitute, and I was like, crap, I'm dead. But luckily for me, he is a Sub Puncher, so I knew I hopefully could take a Focus Punch, and I do with 6 HP. That's so epic, and I'm able to get off a roar that roars him out into his Snorlax, and his Tyranitar loses his Substitute, so that was amazing. And now my Hippopotas dies thanks to the Toxic, and I go into my Hitmontop to Rapid Spin all the Toxic Spikes away, and he switches into his Celebi, predicting close combat or something, as I go for the Rapid Spin. That is very good for me because it protects my teammates from poisoning. And now I know I predict the Grass type move, and I go into my Swallow, which is pretty risky play, as he might have had the Psychic and it probably would have taken down my Swallow, as my Swallow's defense isn't good at all. And now I know a U-turn with the Guts boost from the Flame Orb will definitely kill it, and I predict his switch also, so I go for a U-turn to get the switch advantage on anything that he brings in. And he goes into Tyranitar. U-turn super effective, does a lot of damage, and I go to my Hitmontop. Now at this point of time, I kind of figured he would stay in as Death Fodder, so I just went straight for the Mach Punch, but he actually switches out, wanting to save his Tyranitar for later, and my Mach Punch does nothing to his Celebi, as I am a especially defensive Hitmontop, so the Mach Punch does nothing, obviously, because he resists it. And now I predict what's that, Giga Drain again, and go into my Ferrothorn to take it like a beast, because I resisted 4 times, and Ferrothorn is a beast. Yeah, I already said that. Anyways, he switches out into his Tyranitar, probably as Death Fodder, as I take the opportunity to go for the Spikes. No, he can't do anything to me because I resist both his Celebi stab moves. And now I predict him to predict my switch and go for something else, but he just goes straight for the Fire Blast. I hope I could take him out because that Tyranitar was a mixed set, as you saw with the Focus Punch, but sadly he takes me out as it's 4 times super effective. And now I go back into my Hitmontop. Now I predict him to stay in and go for so I go for the Mach Punch, but again he switches out to his Celebi, so it doesn't matter too much because he does not have a Rapid Spinner on his team, and his Tyranitar will die to entry hazards. So now I predict him to go for a Giga Drain again. I knew I could take one because I am special defense wall, so I go for the Stone Edge just to see how much he'll do, and it does decent damage considering that I have little or no EVs in attack. I'm not too sure, but still it did okay, and it wasn't stab also. Now I predict another Giga Drain and go into my Bisharp, but he makes a great play and goes for Recover. So that really screwed me because he almost gets back to full health after the Recover. And now I make a misprediction, over prediction, whatever you call it, and go for the Brick Break, and that was horrible. And he goes for the T-Wave, and I was like, crap, because now my Bisharp is completely useless, although I am Choice Scarfed. So anyways, he goes for the Leech Seed, and I keep predicting his switch into his Empoleon, and but he went for the Leech Seed, so that was bad for me. And here again I predict to switch into his Empoleon this time, but sadly I get the Parahax, so that was kind of horrible for me because this exact turn where my predictions came true, I get Parahaxed. And then he goes for the Agility, and again I get Parahaxed, so that was kind of horrible for me. But as you will see, it did not matter too much because I have another Pokemon to take out his Empoleon, and that is my Stoutland, which exactly I bring in now. And I go for the Wild Charge. I get a 2 times speed boost thanks to the Sandstorm and my Sandrush ability, and I am Choice Bandit. So this is a really huge threat to his team because it can deal a lot of damage. And he knows I'm Bandit and he goes to Celebi to take the Wild Charge. I go back into my Hitmontop, mainly his Death Fodder, predicting his Giga Drain or something, but he makes an amazing play and goes for the recover. So that is really horrible for me because again he's almost back to full health. And my Hitmontop can't touch him. I just stay in his Death Fodder, knowing Hitmontop is pretty much useless because it's toxic and it's had like 15 HP or something, and I have no recovery moves, so that was bad for me. And now I go back into my Swallow. Again I predict to switch into Tyranitar, not exactly Tyranitar, but predict to switch into something and go for a U-turn, but he makes a good play and goes into his Tyranitar's Death Fodder to rack up burn damage and Sandstorm damage. So that was good play by him. Now he goes into his Heracross. I know he's Bandit, so I just stay in his Death Fodder because my last Pokemon is my Stoutland, which can definitely not take a close combat. So my last Pokemon Stoutland, I'm easily able to outspeed the Heracross, although he's scarfed, as I have double speed due to the Sandstorm and Sandrush, and I'm able to finish him off with the return as I am Bandit Stab plus, and he's at -1. So that was great for me. And I was kind of hopeful that return would take him out, but it doesn't, and he's able to T-Wave me, and now he's able to get off a Giga Drain that does a decent damage. Although I have no EVs in special defense, but I get the Parax and I was like, crap. And I know he's a really nice guy, so he's seen that I got the Parax in so many crucial situations, so he just goes for another T-Wave to be a good guy. So it's 1-on-1 Stoutland versus Snorlax, and I go for the return. I really thinking that it wouldn't take him out because Snorlax is a very bulky Pokemon, but luckily for me it does, and I win the game, a narrow 1-0 victory. So it was a great game, Jay. I really enjoyed it, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Anyways, see you guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and see you guys on another battle.